Welcome back everyone. Time to do another comparison, this time around a camera comparison between the iPhone 12 and the iPhone XR. Now the iPhone XR came out in 2018, it's about 2 years old at this point, and it's kind of funny because the XR is kind of like the main starting point of the iPhone 12. Now on the back we have a dual camera setup on the iPhone 12, two 12 megapixel lenses, a wide angle lens and an ultra wide sensor. The iPhone XR has that single 12 megapixel wide angle lens. Now, when that phone came out the first time, I don't know why my voice is being so weird, but a lot of people were critiquing that specific camera, including me. But how this camera comparison pretty much entails is, I go outside, I go indoors, I take a bunch of photos in pretty much the exact same conditions at the exact same time, and I just try to see which one looks better. Now I do video tests, audio tests, all that good stuff, and I have taken your guys' input, and a lot of you mentioned to do some night mode photos on both, and the XR does not support night mode, and it also doesn't support portrait mode on animals, which is weird, which I'll get into in a second. But for the remainder of this video, the iPhone XR photos will be on the left, the iPhone 12 photos and videos will be on the right. So starting off with this first photo taken outdoors, pretty basic stuff. Automatically you can see, as I said before, there was a bit of filtering going on with the iPhone 12, this specific camera comparison, and that's pretty much all my comparisons this time around, and I'm able to pretty much see that the iPhone XR photo doesn't look bad, but definitely compared to the iPhone 12 photo, this one looks a lot more vibrant and a lot more, I guess, punchy in terms of the colors. Now looking up into this specific segment right here, you're pretty much able to see that, in my opinion, the iPhone 12 did a better job at keeping this overall segment kind of more in focus. It looks a little bit blurry here, but also like the background of the iPhone XR photo looks a little bit more noisier, I think, than the 12's photo. So definitely when it comes down to this one, I think the iPhone XR did a good job, but the iPhone 12 probably ended up winning in this case. Now this next photo, I tried my best to take them at the exact same way and everything, but I kind of messed up here. But as you can see, the iPhone 12 I think did a good job at keeping this specific part in focus. The iPhone XR, maybe it was focusing in a different direction, I'm not 100% too sure. But either or, I think both did a pretty good job. The 12 did a better job because of the bokeh effect. The iPhone XR, I'm not really too sure where it was focusing in, maybe like in this specific area. And I would say even in this case, it did a good job at kind of blurring out the sides and all that good stuff. But I would definitely probably say when it comes down to both of these, the iPhone 12 did a better job here too. Now this next photo is also very, very interesting. So this was like an outdoor photo. It's a very beautiful photo in my opinion. And at first glance, I can't really tell too much of a difference. I can kind of see that the iPhone 12 did a little bit of filtering as expected, but I think the iPhone XR did a really good job too. Now focusing in on this specific area, I just want to see some key differences, and honestly, I think the 12 did a better job at kind of keeping these, more in focus, I would say, and not as blown out. As you can see on the iPhone XR, I let them both autofocus wherever they focused, and I just kind of let them focus and take the photo. And this one doesn't seem blurry, but it just seems like it's a little blown out, and it doesn't seem like it focused in on here. It seems like the bokeh effect was kind of more in play, so maybe it was trying to focus in on a middle segment and I got here. So I don't really know what happened here, but I think both photos actually do look really good from a bird's eye view. But even pointing into this specific leaf right here, again, you can kind of see a couple of differences. The iPhone 12 photo looks more vibrant, looks more punchy in the colors. The iPhone XR photo doesn't even look that bad, but it definitely, I think the iPhone 12 photo probably wins in this case as well. Now this photo was taken in pretty bad lighting. It was like a top head indoor over LED light or whatever. And even here you can see, again, exact same locations, but we kind of get two different color profiles for both these photos, which is really interesting. Like I said before, these are things that I really do like seeing. If you can see here, the iPhone 12 really sharpened this image and it made this photo look really good. The iPhone XR on the other hand looks a little bit more dull, and this is kind of more like what it looked like in real life, to be honest. This is kind of what I was saying with the shadow and everything. But the iPhone 12 did a really good job at keeping this specific photo just as sharp, if not sharper, than what it was in real life. So I'm actually really happy about how the iPhone 12 did here, and I think these indoor shots are some of the more important ones. And with this next one, you'll pretty much be able to see another indoor shot pretty much taken at the exact same location, just like 2 steps over. And you can see again this specific flower area, the iPhone 12 did a better job, I think, at kind of making the photo look better than what it really was. The iPhone XR photo looks a little bit too warm, and I think the iPhone 12 focused in on this area. Like I said before, the outside of it is kind of not in focus as much. But I think when it comes down to both of these, the iPhone 12 did a better job here. The yellows look more punchy, and it's funny because these are the exact same colors, but both phones were able to interpret them in 2 different ways. So I always find that super interesting for sure. Now this next photo, it might look like a dumb one, and it kind of is, but when I explain it, it'll make total sense. And this is something that a lot of you requested for me to do. So this was a night mode photo. This was the night mode capability on the iPhone 12. The iPhone XR does not have any night mode capability, and these were the exact same times. This was in horrible lighting condition. Like back here was the only light we had, and you can see just how much better the iPhone 12 photo looks. I mean, these are the different colors you're going to be getting from the night mode capability. Now, if it was off, I'm sure it would not be this bright, but you can see, I mean, the iPhone 12 did a really good job. I mean, look at these color differences. There's a humongous color difference between these two specific controllers. And that is a huge thing. When you have a specific controller like this, or when you have a camera like this, you want it to, have as many features as the other phones have. I don't know why that keeps happening. And for sure, when it comes down to both of these cameras, they're good, but the iPhone 12 did a really good job at this night mode specific photo. And I did the exact same thing for this next photo. And again, if you're somebody who takes a lot of night mode, for like if you looked over here, I probably would not be able to see this Apple logo right here unless I increase the brightness of my phone. But the specific test, I mean, it looks really good. This is a pretty big difference between both devices. In daylight time and all that stuff, you're going to see kind of marginal differences here and there. But in this specific case, with that night mode capability, photos will definitely look far better on the iPhone 12 than on the iPhone XR for sure. Now, I did a video between these two iPhone boxes as well, and again, the XR on the left, 12 on the right, and I don't know if there's like 100% better when you're here. They kind of look exactly the same, to be completely honest, and to be completely honest, I think the iPhone XR photo kind of looks a little bit better too. Like I said, I didn't find one to be, 50 times better or anything, but that was still something that was very, very interesting to me. So when it comes down to these specific photos and videos, I'll probably say for this specific video test, the iPhone 12 probably won. We still have 4K at 60 on the back camera. We do have 4K at 60 on the front of the 12, which makes it a little bit better in my opinion, but still, I think the iPhone 12 photo probably wins here as well as the video. Now, this next photo was one taken outside, pretty good lighting. There wasn't really that big of a difference in my opinion. I mean, I was primarily looking at the bokeh effect on both, and I didn't really see too big of a difference. As you can see, they both look kind of the same in this case, so it's not really a big test to focus on. But this one was what I was talking about earlier. This was portrait mode on both phones, and like I said before, the iPhone 12 does have portrait mode on animals. The iPhone XR does not have portrait mode on animals. Now, you may be able to go into settings later on and maybe modify some sort of smart focus mode on this, but natively that's not supported on the iPhone XR, unfortunately, which is very, very weird. I don't get that. So definitely when it comes down to both of these, the iPhone 12 by far wins here. The iPhone XR I think was okay. If the portrait mode worked, it would have been a little bit better, but it is what it is. There's nothing we can really do about it. Now, this next photo is also very interesting. It might look like a dumb one, but basically I stood at the same spot on both and I zoomed in as much as I could, and I was pretty much able to see for the most part both photos look kind of the same. There's not really one that definitely wins 100% here, which I think is totally okay. Like, I'm always okay with that for sure. And I definitely say when it comes down to both of these, probably the iPhone 12 is the better quality photo here, but the XR still looks pretty good for the most part. Like, I don't think one is the crazy big winner here, but the XR is probably still okay for sure. Now, this is a basic photo, nothing super crazy here. I just kind of took a photo. And if I go ahead and focus in on this specific area, again, not too many differences, a little bit more filtering. Like I said before on the iPhone 12, the bokeh effect seems about the same if I go down to the leaves. Not really that big of a difference. They look kind of the same. I think the leaves look a little bit better on the iPhone 12. But I think when it comes down to both, I don't really think one person is going to go look at this one and this one and be like, but that one is so much better. So this photo looks kind of the same too. And this was in good lighting. Now, what I did here is also very interesting. I zoomed out as much as I could, standing at the same spot, and yet again, like I stated, the iPhone 12 with its additional ultra-wide sensor really adds more ultra-wide and allows you to have more features overall than the iPhone XR. I mean, we're zoomed out as much as we can on the XR. We are zoomed out as much as we can on the iPhone 12. And look how much more you're able to get into a photo. So this is definitely huge. If you don't care about the quality, in this case, I wouldn't really care about the quality too much, but look how much more you're able to see in a photo on the iPhone 12 than on the iPhone XR. So that's a really big deal in my opinion too. Now, I don't know if this is the last photo. This is the last photo. And from basically in the same spot, and I took the photo, and again the 12 kind of focused in on this area. I didn't want it to focus there, but again I let it autofocus. The iPhone XR focused in, I think, on this leaf right here, which again is a good spot for it to focus in on. And for sure when it comes down to it, probably say that the iPhone 12 photo looks a little bit better, especially when you look down here, the bokeh effect that you get on the iPhone XR versus the iPhone 12. It definitely looks more out of focus, which is a good thing on the iPhone 12 than on the iPhone XR. This is still kind of in focus a little bit. I think that has a lot to do with us focusing on this specific portion right here than that, but I think at the end of the day, it's pretty much okay. Now, I did do a video test between these two phones, and I'll actually go ahead and show you guys that right now. And I test the audio and everything, so I'll let you guys see that right now. Okay, right now I'm using the iPhone 12 and the iPhone XR. I'm not really too sure. Hopefully there's a big difference in video quality. They both can do 4K at 60, and right now we'll use a microphone from the iPhone XR. and to see if it's good. You know, there's some white noise in the background. I'm really hoping not only is the video quality better, but also the audio quality. Right now I'll switch over to the iPhone 12, and maybe there's a difference in audio. I'm not too sure. There is a little bit of white noise, so I'll go ahead and walk away from it and see if there's any difference. And I'll kind of go ahead and switch on and off between the 10R and 12 to see if there's a difference. And if I go ahead and quickly kind of like shake around the cameras to see the optical image stabilization, maybe there's a difference, maybe there isn't. I can go and zoom in, zoom out. Both seem good. I can't really zoom into the 10R because there's no telephoto lens, so it doesn't give me the option to do it with both hands enabled. But let's go ahead and see if there's a difference. I'll go and kind of walk into a darker spot too. And I really don't think there's a big difference in audio quality. Now that we're back, what I can tell you is that for sure at the end of the day, I think the iPhone 12 camera is probably overall the better one. You're getting more features, you're getting a better front-facing camera, you're getting that additional ultra-wide sensor, and you're just getting a lot more quality photos, I think, from the iPhone 12 than on the iPhone XR. But as you guys have seen and as I've showcased, there's really not a crazy big difference, you know, in terms of the outdoor photos. I think if you're taking a lot of outdoor photos and things like that, you're pretty much going to be getting very similar performance from the two. But it's not until you get up to those like iPhone, you know, indoor photos, that's when you're starting to see a bigger deal, especially portrait mode for animals and stuff like that. That's going to be a bigger deal, I think, to a lot of people. If you're taking a lot of indoor photos and a lot of indoor Snapchats and TikToks and stuff like that, you're probably going to be better off with an iPhone 12. Not only are you getting that better back-facing camera with higher quality videos and photos, but you're also probably going to be getting a better front-facing camera with better quality photo and videos there too. So that's another big deal in my opinion. To a lot of people, it's probably not a big deal, but what I can tell you is between both phones, the iPhone 12 is probably the better camera as expected, but I still think the iPhone XR is really, really good too. So that really pretty much covers it up. If you guys have any other questions or anything, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that helps me so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. Every single subscriber that we get really does count, so it means so much if you guys can hit that. Also check out the other links down in the description as well. My Twitter, my Instagram, my other channels. More importantly, everything else, love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.